I was one of the major people in formulating seminars to be taught in Lilydale during the summer. And now that's very much a part of what we do all summer long, usually from the last week in June through Labor Day. I think this year we have 55 different seminars and workshops.
I was reaching down here to grab the guide for the Lilydale workshop, and what is this? Is this a workshops in spirituality?
In evolution, I would say to you. They're not all about spiritualism, although several of them are how to develop mediumship, how to develop intuition, classes on death and dying. But you'll see that there are Native American teachers there too, who teach spirituality or a spirit connection with the earth. There are classes on hands-on healing. There are classes on astrology. There are classes on dreaming. There are teachers of various kind. I won't call it New Age. I will say evolution and those energies that go beyond the physical. Mm-hmm.
So you've been. So how long have you been a professional advisor?
Since 1983. So this is my 17th year.
17th year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you called on to predict the future very often?
Well, people come and don't say, I'd like a medium. People who've not had a reading before. And I was postmaster in Lilydale for over 20 years. The post office is the first building you come to when you come through the Lilydale gates. So I was very familiar with having people pull up out front and come in and say, where do I go to get a reading? Or where do I go to get my fortune told? Or where do I go to find someone to read my palm? And first I explained to them that mediums are not psychics. Okay? Mediums are people who communicate with spirit guides and teachers. Well, but I want to know about this, or I want an answer about relationships. And I say, if your spirit guides brought you here to find the answer to these questions, I advise you to drive up and down the streets, and they will find you the right person to advise you on what you're asking. But as a reader myself, I don't deal just with the future. I basically give an 8-year overview of a person's life in terms of the auric structure. I go past, present, and future. And you have to understand everybody came to this earth plane with a guide, a plan for their life, some contract we've made with God about what we're going to do while we're here. And we're not allowed to leave to die until we've completed that contract. And it's a part of your inner knowing. You know, everything in your life is something that you've planned to have happen. We aren't truly victims, although it may seem like that at a physical level. And what your spirit guides will do, because their vision, their understanding of time is not like yours and mine. They don't see yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For us, at a higher level, all time is now. And I won't get into the physics of it, but Dr. Einstein proved this is true when you go beyond the speed of light. Yeah. So that people who come for readings very often will be told how the actions that they've performed in the past that have created their situations for today may develop. One thing we do not do is tell people what choices they must make. That is entirely a person's responsibility. But your spirit guides will advise you what may happen if you make a particular choice, and they're very good about giving you assistance to carry out your choice once you've elected to do so.
So if I'm coming to talk to you to find out what the number is going to be for tomorrow, I'm probably in the wrong place.
You're not talking about a lottery, right?
Yeah, the daily number, whatever.
Okay. My comment to you was if that was something I could do, I wouldn't be sitting here now. No, it's not about choosing numbers. That may be psychic, but it's not mediumistic. Besides, if you had an uncle in spirit who came in the room with you, who played the ponies constantly, you know, and made bets with his bookie, how successful was he? And would you trust what he might say to you today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is the value of the future from the standpoint of spiritual evolution? I mean, I can understand if I've come to you with a problem. My problems are usually things that are formed due to certain experiences in my life, predispositions, et cetera, and I come to you and I have a problem, and the problem needs to work itself out. What is the value? I mean, of the future from that in that equation?
Well, as I've said before, nature abhors a vacuum and constantly seeks to bring about a balance. Now, your spiritual energy fields are totally harmonious, totally peaceful, totally wonderful. That's the God part of ourselves that reasserts itself in healing during sleep, that allows your body to heal itself. Certainly your life, if it's causing you distress and unhappiness, is not in a balanced condition. So that in a reading, your spirit guides are going to try to bring you an understanding, actually try to balance the energy fields back to that prototype of perfect happiness and perfect balance and perfect peace.
I see. Are there people at Lilydale that will do that sort of thing? That
will do what?
Will give you a lottery number? I mean, is that the...
I don't know of any. They may do, but understand it's not the readers in Lilydale who are offering you the lottery number. It could be your Uncle Fred, who really, never had $2 to rub together. So you get an answer to the question that you ask. You know that the answer depends on the question, don't you? If you believe that winning the lottery tomorrow is going to solve all of your problems, don't you think you have a somewhat restricted idea of life and what it's all about? And I'm sure that Spirit would agree. But there are people who win the lottery tomorrow. What are they doing that the rest of us aren't? I believe that at some point, the day they bought that lottery ticket, they have accepted the total abundance of life that God has given us all. Mm-hmm. I personally would rather have an abundance of good health than abundance of money, because I know the Lord always provides for my needs. When I want spiritual upliftment, I go to the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. And I let life, Spirit, and God take it from there. I just put myself in line with really believing that.